All right, let's do this segment I like to call verses. And it's not a versus like one against the other. It's really more of a versus like giving you some of the positive things about something that's somewhat similar, but let's show the differences. And we're talking about big casinos versus small casinos. And I'm just going to give you two examples of each that are positive for those two. So let's start off with the big casino. Here's two things, probably among many, that are positive about going to a big casino. The first thing is, and I think is just automatic, is more games. You get more games to play, especially if there's a game you like. Not only will they have maybe multiple, like more than one game, they may have multiple banks of that game, especially if it's a popular game. So if you're playing a game, you may be 4 of them here, and another 3 banks of them here, and you might have one over in the corner. So you have more games. And even at the table games, bigger casinos will have more tables. If you're a roulette player, and they might have 4 roulette tables, and you know, they may have 2 open, and they notice they're getting big crowds, they may open another one. So there's just more gaming there at a bigger casino. So that's one. The next one is you have more amenities. Because a lot of times, most bigger casinos will have one of the biggest amenity is a hotel. So when you have that hotel, you end up having, you have the pool, you have maybe a spa, you have different things. Of course, you have probably several different places to eat, whether it's a buffet, a restaurant, little snack bar. They have a multiple things that you can go to. Some of them will have shops, places you can buy little things, like a gift shop or things like that. So there's more amenities. That's one. The next one would be, those are the 2 things. I'm sorry. Those are the 2 things: more games and more amenities. And those are two positive things, probably among many, that a big casino. So let's talk small casinos. Are there any advantages to small casinos? Here are 2 advantages or good things about a small casino. And I'm going to give you 2, and there's probably more. The first one is comps. I find that when you go to smaller casinos, it is a lot easier to get comps or build comps. Like, it's easier to get a free buffet. It's easier to get a room. And a lot of times, when you get to the bigger casinos, you have to be a big time baller, a big wig or high roller to get the rooms on the weekends. Whereas the smaller casinos, sometimes they're able to get those during the weekend. There's no limitations, or there might not be a resort fee. So you'll get a lot of the comps a lot easier when you go to smaller casinos. The other one is you have lower minimums. Like if you want to go in there and you want to play some roulette, they may have a table. The minimum might be you can make 50-cent bets. Or there's some you can get on blackjack. They have dollar blackjack. Some of the bigger casinos are not going to do that. Smaller casinos will have smaller bet sizes. If you're one that don't have big money, you just want to take $50, $100, you can go and spend a good little time in smaller casinos because they have lower minimum bets. And a lot of times their high limit room are not really high limit. I mean, you could go in their high limit section or room and it might be $5, spends. So, I mean, when you go to those smaller casinos, they're going to allow you to have those smaller bets. And I'm going to do another video on that about the smaller bets, especially when you're progressive betting. That gives you more room to progressive bet if you're using smaller bets. But those are the 2 things that I would say are one of the 2 things, there's probably multiple things, but those 2 of those things are the comps. They're easier to get. And the last thing is that there's lower minimums. And so those are just more, like I say, against information from the parking lot to the nearest slot, and you're welcome to use them.